What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we are talking about the last video that I'm going to record before the scoreboard bug fix. This includes some changes that will be coming to the way the crowd control works slightly in the game, which could have some impact on the way that you finish certain levels. And because of that, I won't be doing any more levels after this one until after that patch drops. Once we have that confirmation, I'll probably have a stream set up and we'll talk about the differences that are in the game at that point. But until then, let's talk about the way that this level actually gets cleared. So you'll see me setting up some Arcane Brimstone here. Brimstone is really nice because it has essentially no trigger delay. Trigger delay is the time that it takes for a trap to fire after something gets within its damage zone. And that's really important for dealing with runners. Runners are one of the key features of this stage. This is one of the first stages where they show up on, even when you're in the early phases of getting into this game for the first time. And so you want something that will be able to deal with runners and not have you have to do a lot of cleanup work afterwards. But it's also good for just consistently taking out enemies. It'll fire off a few times based on the number of upgrades that you have on it, and then go into a cooldown mode. When it finishes cooling down, it'll get all those charges back and immediately be able to burn or blast whatever new things cross it. So this is a trap that actually benefits greatly from crowd control because of the fact that you can just freeze things on it, and then after the cooldown's over, they start moving again, they can take more damage. But also, it is consistent in dealing its damage. It won't really be as burst heavy as something like floor spikes, but at the same time, you don't really have to worry about whether or not you can group enemies up on top of the trap. They sort of just take their damage as they cross it. With the floor spikes, to really get the most out of it, you need to set up a lot of crowd control and slow enemies down over the trap so that you can hit multiple enemies at once to get the most bang for your buck. Even though it's inexpensive, when space is at a premium, you'll find that crowd control is really more important for floor traps or spike traps than it is for something like the Arcane Brimstone. Even with that said, you are dealing with a lot of enemies coming through on this level, and a lot of them are going to be runners. The runners are going to try to trigger all of your traps and have them fire before they actually deal any damage. With the Arcane Brimstone, because again, no trigger delay, it'll burn the runners immediately as they try to cross it. And because this is the Arcane version rather than fire, they're not really going to go anywhere after they hit it. They take all of their damage in a burst and immediately drop, which is exactly what you want. This means no chasing. You don't have to worry about them setting up more or setting off more than one trap if they run over them in close proximity to each other. And yeah, actually just take a dive there. Those dynamite archers are so dangerous. If you are not fighting near your rift, bring a drop the mana rage trinket that I have here. Bring yourself a healing trinket, and it'll allow you a bit more of a buffer to keep yourself alive and just buff your health when those guys show up. It'll also allow you to play a bit better versus the Null Hunters. And I think I just had the mana trinket on here because of some stuff that I was playing around with, and it really is not a great choice here. I did use it, but you could have also just handled yourself there a lot better than I did. I don't really recommend the use of the ceiling pounder here. I think by the time you get to the point where it could even be useful, you probably would have been better off just either placing a swinging mace or dropping yourself some more dart spitters. Like the crowd control that the dart spitters offer is super important, and especially after the crowd control change, I suspect, and I can't say this for sure until like the change actually drops and we know how this plays off, but I suspect that the dart spitter will probably see even more use and be better in covering more areas when you need to place more of them. So that said, the Ceiling Pounder really only works well against slower enemies. It'll kill the lighter ones, but the lighter ones will get taken out better by grinders or the Arcane Brimstone. So yeah, the stuff that's coming out here really doesn't have any super special synergy against using Ceiling Pounders, and I think that I'll use those mainly because they're a bit less inexpensive. Inexpensive traps really shine the most when you can place a lot of them early, or you get to build over a large area, and this level actually doesn't really give you the opportunity to do that too much because of the restricted go breaks and the fact that you don't get to buy and sell as easily, the fact that you need to start really trying to build a consolidated kill box from the beginning. Even your cheaper traps will probably find a bit of an issue here. Arrow walls just happen to be good enough that they do a decent job, and I don't have to worry about too much other stuff going through them, especially the larger, heavier enemies. We'll see how this goes when the crowd control changes happens though, because I'm really interested on how these enemies can be dealt with when they're no longer going to be bunching up as easily behind their frozen counterparts. And it'll be interesting to see how game changing it'll be for the ice traps, specifically the ice dart spitter, after that takes place. Like, it could be great, it could be meh, who knows. But I'm always interested to find out. This gets pretty consistent at this point. The amount of traps that are sort of backed by the crowd control power of the ice dart spitter are really going to start hitting hard. The fire arrow walls here actually start doing a really good job, but the thing about the Ceiling Pounders is now they're mostly just sitting there. With the swinging mace will probably be doing a slightly bit more damage. It would be firing also more consistently through the entire area. I think it has like a 6-second wait between swings if you have it set to fire, and maybe about 4 or 5 seconds if you have it under the faster swing unique ability. So either way, it's really a lot more consistent than, you know, just 3 Ceiling Pounders. The Ceiling Pounders are beneficial mainly just because they have their stun upgrade, and the other upgrade, which is them dealing more damage to stunned enemies, I really don't think is too great unless you plan on manually stunning a lot of stuff. So that's really a synergy upgrade more than something that you want to just have them automatically do if you're building a kill box. Especially since nothing's really naturally weak against physical damage. But yeah, this is pretty much over now. Like, these guys are getting chewed up by all of the Auto Ballista. The Auto Ballista is a great addition to this kill box. Like, as much as I kind of downplay the usefulness of the Ceiling Pounder here, the Auto Ballista really helps to pick off enemies after they're slowed entering the box. It gives them time to basically be pierced by both the arrow walls and then skewered by all the Auto Ballista shots, and takes out all of the heavy enemies as they come in without me actually having to do much, if any, work at all. So it's really good, and I think here we actually have a stuck, a stuck Knoll Hunter. Those Knoll Hunters getting stuck has been an issue for actually, I think since launch. I had one that routinely started to hide behind the entry gate in a war scenario. But that's gonna be it. Let me know what you guys think about this one, and I look forward to seeing what happens when we actually get the patch update. The scores will be reset, so everybody that's been shooting for high scores in single player, I am very sorry, but you'll be able to set new high scores. The description about the bug I posted in a community post on the YouTube channel, so you can check out the notes for the bug fix and exactly why it was necessary there. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have been playing Rift Lord and what you think about it so far. And yeah, until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one as always, and take care of yourselves. Peace.